been causing mayhem, and you think they may have stolen some goods of some people from where you live and some other things, and you even heard that the Baron of Ludensheim might even pay some silver for heads of some of these people. And it heard that they at least did spend some time and did recruiting at a small village of what's the name of it? Googlesheim, I think is this one. And you've come out here to this village, and it's like, a 9-day track through the wilderness, and you've dodged a few creatures and some shady looking people. And now about noon, you've walked into town and you see that a big, or not a big group, but there's like 7 horses outside the small inn in this little town. And the horses they look like horses that have been used in battle. They're not military, and they're not fully barded or anything like that, but the gear and equipment that you're seeing with them indicates that they're probably ridden by people who fight, and sometimes fight by horseback. There's a door over where the horses are tied, and then there's a door nearer you where no horses are tied. Rich, this is your character.
Oh, okay. Uh Now, is there like any markings or symbols or something along those horses to alert soldiers or
No,
mercenaries?
I mean, like I said, it doesn't say soldiers or mercenaries. It just says people may fight from these horses at times.
Okay. Is there anybody else around or just the horses?
There, you can hear people in the inn, and
Okay.
I probably hear some people kind of coming out, but it seems like your people are kind of busy in there at the moment.
Okay. Well, that's where everybody's at. That's where I'd head to.
As you walk in the inn, you see. So, Sir Galifon, go ahead and describe yourself.
We were joining the bandits, like getting ready to leave town. Could we fast forward to that part? Um,
No.
because I really don't want to role play the whole interacting with the um bandits again because we had a sealed deal
Not
already.
you're not role playing that again.
Okay, I'm just describing my character.
You're describing your character.
All right. He's a very young man wearing plate mail. He's got a medium shield, long sword, blonde hair, green eyes, and that's he's got a backpack that has a couple lumps in it. That's about
Okay,
it.
very good. Aaron, describe yourself.
Human, 5'9", 155. wearing robes.
Okay. And so on the other side of the bar, one of the are it's full of guys that you can tell are fresh off the road. They're dusty, you know. They've been on these horses outside, and they're getting their first drink. And one of them is big, burly guy with lots of crazy hair, big full beard, and he's talking to these two guys that are this table nearest you as you kind of come through that door, and he's like, "Great. Well, it sounds like we got a deal then. I think we'll get your horses. So grab your gear and we'll be out after we have a little bit to eat and drink."
And I just overhear that as I'm heading to the bar, or
Yep, you hear that as you're walking in. You're kind of witness to the end of that transaction.
okay. I don't think I would react exactly anything to that yet, but I would definitely go to the bar and get something to drink. Wash the dust down my throat.
And now these guys that are in here that I said are dusty from the road, they're all wearing armor that it's a bit mismatched. They definitely don't look like soldiers or mercenaries. They also look like they're guys that have the scars on them, the amount of weaponry they carry, and the fact that they're all trying to be as armored as possible. Look like they are frequently in fights.
Okay.
There's another group sitting back at a table in the corner that you walked past as you came in. They also appear to be a bit of a they appear to be a group of adventurers of some sort, and they're kind of watching this but not participating, and just kind of sitting there sipping on their drinks and kind of watching what's happening. There's a few more people scattered around the bar that look to be adventurers types. There's one young man sitting to your left as you came in near the fire, got his back up against the wood pile. He's scanning the audience. He's looking at all the men who you would figure just recently arrived, looking them over carefully. And he makes note that you're here and gives you a first cursory glance and goes back to what he's looking at on the other side of the room. A couple of elves sitting across on the other side of the room, kind of not jumping in on this conversation and just sort of watching what happens.
Well, I'll just give a casual glance over to what he's staring at, but then as I approach the barkeep, order my ale.
Okay. Well, the barkeep is a big guy. You think he may have a little orc in him there, and he kind of trundles down to you. Where'd I get you?
Ale?
Sounds good. He goes over to the pump and starts pumping a mug full for you, brings it back and sets it down. And
Slide
it's,
sliver over to him,
and he thanks you, and the big guy with the beard looks at you. You look like you're recently arrived. You looking for work too?
I came in town just now. I heard there's a possible bounty. return some stolen items, put some bandits back where they belong.
Let's see. I think about that again and re-say that.
I mean, how much does my guy would actually know? I mean, he just cruised into town. All he knows are some bandits that stole some stuff, and there's a possible bounty. He slid into town with 9 whole silver in his pocket, so you know he needs money.
Hey, let me explain this area a little to you. This is an area totally outside of any jurisdiction. It is run by bandits.
Well, that will circumvent the next question I was going to ask about the local constable that I could check in with.
And I said, this is the village where you hear where the bandits come to recruit people.
Okay. Oh, so we're on the other side of the fence line. Okay. Well,
Yeah, I don't think he was operating with the full knowledge of that.
I don't quite have full knowledge of what I just walked into. But then I would probably more just like look at him, grunt, and say, "Yeah, just came into town, looking to pick up a little bit of coinage and possibly continue on unless things pan out here nicely."
Okay. Look like you can fight.
I know my way around a sword. I know which end's pointy.
Okay. We split what we find and try hard to find. So do getting your horses, get your gear together. These 2 guys over here just signed up, and like I told them, we'll be leaving after we get a bit to eat and drink.
Fair enough. I order something to eat too.
Okay. Sort of a mutton pie today is what they're serving. There's room at the table over there with the guys you just said you joined up with.
Okay. I'll make my way over there with my meal in hand and my drink in the other, and just kind of like tilt my head towards one of the empty seats.
Sure.
Just signed on as I sat down.
Well, what kind of what kind of a cleric are you planning on being?
The deity I picked from the list you told me was I don't know if I'll butcher the name or not, but Pei Basat. Pei Basat.
Okay. Yeah, that's like, is that the boar god?
Yeah, it's a war god one.
Oh, well, I think I said the boar.
Oh, boar. Okay, boar god. Boar god, war god. My guy's a
Yeah,
half
I mean,
orc.
he's a war god, but he's also symbols the boar, I think. Anyway, so you would recognize probably something showing on you where Aaron recognized that you're a cleric.
Oh, I'd have my holy symbol definitely be dangling from the neck, if not emblazoned upon my shield.
Okay.
What do I know about that religion?
Um. Oh, there's a book.
Probably more than me. I've never heard of it before.
What kind of weapons do you have?
You see, he's wearing splint mail, small shield cast across his back. He does have a long sword at his waist, and then also a sling kind of tucked in there.
A cleric with a longsword. Nice.
Yeah.
Come on, here somewhere. There it is. Okay. Yep, the Boar God. Um, you would know that they're sort of a sect of chaotic warriors, um, kind of given to blood contests, dice, other games of chance. Um, and that its followers, the clerics who pursue it, um, and other believers as well, if they're well enough versed in it, uh, once they get blooded in battle, or once they have the blood of an enemy to put on their face, they can go berserk in battle.
Okay, so they're not geared towards good or evil, just chaos.
They're not. They're not particularly evil. They're just pretty chaotic.
Okay.
I mean, he's technically a CG god, but they're not. No.
Like the cleric we were traveling with, we don't think that was it a he or she can go along because they're definitely
Yeah,
good.
he's like the lawful good god of righteousness and stamping out all evil.
Almost a paladin. Okay.
Whereas this guy is god of berserk warriors, so you can kind of run with that.
Yeah, almost sounds like
Yes.
Talos out of the Tempest. The cat neutral one in the realms.
Yeah, but he's got the big the boar head symbol there at his neck and probably on his shield.
Well, I'll just kind of watch him. Not gonna chat him up or anything.
Okay. But you're free to ask him any questions you want.
I start eating my meal, and I'll be like, "Haddock's my name. You guys got any information on what we signed up for?"
My name is Aaron, and seems like run of the mill banditry.
Do I know anything of like the area itself, other than it's kind of lawless?
Um,
I mean, what brings the people here to this area? Is there gold mines, silver mines?
well, there are rumors of gold mines. There definitely was gnomish mining activity in this area in the past, but give it a little quick world history. Uh, this world, we're just now about 100 years out of the rule of an evil god called Unklar. And Unklar ruled for 1,000 years, where he kept it winter and nighttime. So that's called the Winter's Dark. And people finally revolted, were able to get free from him and get him sent back into the heavens beyond the ban where the gods are supposed to be. He had been able to figure out a way to get through them. There's a ban on the gods actually coming to Earth. He had figured out a way to get some powerful human sorcerers into gating him into the world. Once he was here, he was able to quickly take over. And like I said, had a nice long run. We're not far from where the where his capital was. It's only about probably 60 to 100 miles north of here. And so this area still has a lot of activity from his former troops. They're sort of roaming around the area in small bands and groups trying to do what they can. This is still a very wild area because of all this. This is actually, there's a kingdom just to the south of here called the Empire of New Enoch. And the empire, the empress of this empire has made a call for adventurers to come and colonize this area up here where we're at. And if you can come in here and you're strong enough to gain some land and some territory and then get some followers and put yourself in a position as a figure of authority and establish sort of law and order, you can get made into a noble and be granted land by the empire. So that's the other thing that's going on here is you've got a lot of people coming into this area looking for their chance to establish their own little kingdom, barony, duchy, whatever you want to call it. And so you're actually, like I said, you may be here for that as well, but you heard about this kind of bounty thrown out there when you were in Ludensheim, which is one of the larger towns in the area. And that's how you came to be out here looking to find if you could find out anything about these bandits. And it looks like you were lucky enough to kind of walk in right in the midst of them.
Okay. Yeah, I think my guy would probably take more of the more prudence and keep his conversations more quiet till he susses everybody out and what's all happening. But yeah, barony does sound pretty good, or some titles and land. So
yeah. Yeah, that is basically what people are looking for when they come into this area adventuring. But some bounty money would be a good way to get started there.
Yep.
Go work and get your artwork in as for your character, but for right now, I'm going to give you control of this cleric just to save time.
Do you use standard tokens?
Yeah. I mean, if you got it and can dump it in, I can do it now. I would personally have to copy it to 2 or 3 different things to get it to work because it's coming up from your thing as a web page and not a JPEG. Knowing how slow my computer is, I know that would take a while. So it's like,
The token in the Discord.
okay. Is it up above some or oh, you sent it to me personally. Okay. Oh, and you're a half orc. Okay.
Either half orc or a really ugly human.
Okay.
Well, dwarf, what I was thinking.
No wonder the bartender took a liking to you there and filled your wet mug so readily. Discuss or ask or do before you get out of here.
No, I think my guy's good. Like I said, you keep a more of a low profile dealing with the bandits or trying to figure it out.
Okay. Okay. So you finish your meal, and you guys probably have a time for another cup or two. Eventually, the big guy comes back over. Because this is John. He's going to take you to get your horses.
Okay.
And John's one of the guys that came in with him. He's dressed like the others. Um, he's young, low 20s, probably 5'11", 170 pounds. Looks like he could handle himself. The weapons he's got on him. He's got a long sword, several daggers, and a tomahawk. And come on, and he takes you out this door. You guys walk all the way through town down toward the river. Now, the for Rich, as you're going down, this town used to be a mining town. The mining has played out, so there's all kinds of shops, and they've got wooden porches or sidewalks to them and stuff. But only one of them is open, and it's a general store. The rest of them are falling into disrepair and are boarded up. Down at the far end of town is a rather large old mill, and John leads you towards that mill and around to the other side of it, where there's a stable and corral. And leads you in there, and there's about 5 horses in there, and he says, "Pick one out. There's tack over there. Get them saddled up, and come on back to the bar. I'm gonna go get another drink or two before we have to leave." With that,
I would look to one that would accommodate my size and saddle them up.
Yeah.
okay. So
Same
he
here.
leaves you, and I mean, they're not the best of horses. They're not the worst of horses. They've been relatively well taken care of. Um, the tack is not great, but it's serviceable. Uh, none of it's matching, but you'll find whichever one which saddle and horse you think looks more to your taste, and get them saddled up then, and saddlebags there if you want to grab a pair, and obviously harness, and there's also some grain, small bags of grain that you can grab to take with you, and make your way back up to the bar. Get there, everything looks about like it was when you left. I mean, people have shifted around a little, but they're just finishing up drinking. And when you come back in, big guy's like, "Hey, glad to see you. You can do that so quickly. Fellas, got land to cover tonight. Drink up. Let's go." By now it's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Um, and you guys head off into the head outside, and everybody gets mounted up. And there's no particular order to it other than the big leader guy rides first, and one of the guys that seems to be kind of like his lieutenant's riding right beside him, and they're talking. Everybody else just sort of gets behind them and follows in a file, not single, not particularly doubled up, nothing, no formation to it, just sort of riding along however they feel like at that moment. And so guys ride back through town and out of the out of the town, across the river, and you strike out towards the east. And it's late spring, early summer. Uh, so having had a long rest midday, they kind of push it till nearly dark. And you finally kind of reach a point where they seem to know where they're at, and they seem to know where they're headed. And sure enough, they pull up in a good campground, and you can tell from the fire pit there that they've used it before. Um, it's on the side of a small hill. There's some woods there. There's a stream that flows at the bottom of it. You know, and then you kind of look for at a campground is here. And so you guys start to set up camp, and you can see that everybody is sort of, you know, doing it together, but it's not like a military effort. It's very much this is how I do it. Some guys are just throwing out bedrolls, other guys are making little tents. um, One of them does, they get the fire going, and one of them does pull out a leg of lamb they had brought from the tavern with them, and proceeds to get that rigged up over the fire to roast. And some of you may get put on rotisserie duty, uh, as multiple people have to take turns at that rather tiring task. Um, and finally, uh, they get down to discussing watches. And Haydak, you get assigned to the middle watch, and Aaron and Sir Galathon, you get assigned to the third watch. And that's how the evening progresses. Um, the food is eventually done. It's pretty good stuff. It could have been kind of seasoned up by the folks back at the tavern because nobody did anything to it, and you can tell it's had a little seasoning put to it. You can all eat your fill. There's plenty of food.
All right, have at it.
So first watch passes. All of you are sleeping. I'm assuming you're going to get to sleep. If you want to do something other than that, speak up. I'm not trying to run your character. I'm just trying not to spend a whole lot of time asking, are you going to bed? Are you going to go to bed? Are you going to? And the end of first watch, Haddock, you're awoken. Let's say there were 6 of them. So there's 2 of them going to be on watch with you. And they're not terribly you can tell they're not terribly afraid, watch because it's the wilderness and a bear could come out of the woods or some orcs could wander along. There's always a need for watch, but it's also not something where it's thought that anything imminent is going to happen. As the shift draws on, one of them, who is John, the guy who took you to the horses. Oh, hey, that brings you out to join a crew like this.
Now, who's he talking to?
Hey, Dak.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was on second shift. I'm
Are
just
already on second.
I'm out here just seeking fortune and fame.
Fair enough. He goes on and talks a little bit and tells you, he grew up in Ludensheim and his dad had some type of business. He was a coppersmith. And I hated that work. Stuff would burn your fingers like crazy. First chance I got enough coins still stored up, bought a horse, bought some weapons, and got out of town. it out here and got into some trouble, and these guys kind of helped bail me out. And it's not a bad life. We spend a lot of time sleeping under the stars, but we always have enough to eat and drink, and kind of shakes his purse, and you can tell it's got some coin in it.
Hello?
We save a little. A lot to spend it on out here, you know.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
I joined.
Okay. So you're out on the trail already. You're Lars, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you're the bandits. Another guy came in right after you guys agreed to join. Another guy came in and he joined as well. You guys have all gotten your horses and have all headed out with them. You're camping for the night, and you're up on watch. And the other new guy, Hedak, is there, and John, a guy that you met earlier because he helped you get horses, just having a conversation on how they wound up here. And John just finished telling about he grew up the son of a coppersmith in Ludensheim and hated being a coppersmith, and together some money and got out of town and wound up down here and with this band, and it's working pretty well for him. But you, Lars?
What?
About you, Lars? What brings you into this this world of ours?
I don't know. Hmm.
Uh, and so the watch passes, and you guys are waking up next watch. And I want you all to give me a D20 roll.
How do we do that?
If you go over to the left-hand side, the little menu over there, next to the bottom is a dice. If you hold your mouse over it, it'll bring up a dice roller, and you can just go down to the D20 and hit that, and it will cause it to roll.
Two. Okay.
Okay. You're kind of doing the handoff, and you guys are probably telling them, well, you know, we heard a few rabbits in the bushes and stuff. Right at that point where you're having that discussion, one of the other John is something just showed up, and Rich, you noticed it as well, Hadak, um, right after John does, and there is a big old cat of some type, sort of comes out of the bushes, and then comes running forward, making a great leap towards you. It's a big black cat.
Hmm.
And this beast lashes at one of the guys who is sleeping. Gashes him deeply. Causing him to wake up. And is now initiative. So one of you will need to roll for party / bandits. And roll 6-sided. Low goes first. Guys have an opening.
Do we have a designated roller or?
Just one of you needs to roll.
You just volunteered, my friend.
All right.
Okay, so you guys want initiative. And so Jack, he's not too far from you. You got your weapon. What do you want to do?
Well, Attic would definitely advance on this creature and maybe skewer it, poke it with the sharp pointy end while
Okay.
shouting for everybody else to awake.
One thing they did was it failed to catch everybody asleep. So 8 of you are awake. There's only 3 of you that are sleeping. 4 of you that are sleeping. One of them has been awakened because it's been attacked.
Yes. All right. So I would try to shout and wake everybody up, but
That's fine. That's good.
I don't think I'm going to hit with that roll.
Okay.
Pluses out of all that stuff.
See
Maybe.
what that is. Okay. What you have in there is do not put it in as a +2 bonus. Just put it in as a 2.
Yeah, I'm going back through fixing them. There we go.
But you would have rolled an 11, and that would not have hit.
Let me see if I fixed it real quick. This is just
Yeah, go right ahead.
there we go.
Yeah.
All right, so it's working.
Don't feel bad. That's a very common error. When I see a 0, that's the first thing I check for. So, okay, so you missed, and now Galathon, you ready? Galathon?
I wonder if he's AFK. Because
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't see him roll his
Lars,
perception.
Mm,
When
yeah.
he actually did the D20 roll.
yes. Are you where the creature is attacking? Do you wish to join in the attack?
Mm, sure.
Okay. So you can reach it. Hedak was the first one over there. You can follow him and get over there and attack it yourself.
Do I like? How do I?
You use your weapon attack on your character sheet, or you can just roll a d20 and annually add in the bonuses if you have any.
Okay. How do I attack with my weapon or whatever? Or-
If you go to your character sheet, if you put your weapons in the in that section for weapons,
What's your weapon name? What weapon did I have?
yeah, if you go, yeah, to where your longsword, if that's the weapon you want to use, and you just hit that button that says roll.
What? Roll.
On your character sheet, just
Yeah.
scroll down to where it says weapons and where it's the in there in the for longsword. There's a button right on the left hand side that says roll. Just punch that and it'll roll the attack.
It says input value to hit modifier is 0. Does it matter? We'll cancel. Hello?
I just hit submit. You get that. If you don't, that's to add additional bonuses from what you already have.
Wait, what?
Let's see. You got those in there correct as far as
Is it just me or just on my screen? I'm still in the bar.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks set up right in here. It rolled, or wait a second. That's okay. There's Paladon. Okay, yeah, it rolled. Yeah, Lars is not set up correctly, but yours is. You missed it. And then if Lars comes and attacks, he did as well. Aaron, do you
Okay.
wish to do?
Question: am I able to throw darts without hitting our people, or no?
Um, 3 of money. At this point, no.
Yeah.
Well, I'll give you this round because you could have been throwing them before everybody got over there. So go ahead, and the next round you'll be like, nah, I better not.
Okay. Possibly AC 5. I doubt the 10 or the 15. 15's gonna hit.
Possibly AC 5. You thought you had it with that one, but it doesn't seem to have. It seems to have missed it. It didn't look like it was going to, but then it did.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay.
Moved ever so slightly at the last second,
Wow.
and the guys that are with you, they'll all run over. Good job here. Over. Take swings, and a couple of them are actually going to hit. Okay, so they all four get strikes in on this thing, and they they succeed. Um, okay, so Braddock, the guy who's down on the ground under this thing is trying to get out, and he came at you. I mean, it's surrounded, so he's like trying to get out, and he winds up hitting you, trying to get through. I need you to give me a D20, and what's your dex?
Dex 16.
Okay. Okay. So, boom, and you know, he hits you, and it's like, oh, but you're able to stay up and stay ready, and he kind of gets through to the other side before this thing can maul him again. And another couple of those guys wake up. The big leader is snoring loudly. The other two non-leaders are up and awake. And now the creature turns towards one of the other bandits. and it's like the first claw rips a little at one of his arms, and the second one comes down and just eviscerates him. And then after he's already watching his bowels fall down between his legs, the cat bites his neck, and what little blood he's got left in him is spurting out there. And it's initiative.
Mhm.
Okay, so you guys again won initiative. And so two guys that were left sleeping are up getting their stuff. The guy that stuff is in the midst of where you guys are fighting is is just trying to stay out of the way. Uh, so Hedek,
All right, so Haddock will grab that guy by the shoulder and look him in the eye and say, "Fight or flee, but get the hell out of the way." And I shove him and I attack the cat.
okay. That's a miss.
But I'm getting warmer.
Yes, you are.
That's what's
That's a good
important.
way to think of it. And so Lars,
Yeah.
go ahead. And then Sir Galathon, you can take yours as well.
Right on.
Alright, so I just roll.
His damage macro still ain't right.
Yeah. It's a miss. Let me look at that.
Oh, so 15 still misses?
Yeah.
Is the leader still sleeping? Still snoring?
Yeah. Okay. I'm not sure. I'm not sure where you're rolling from, Lars, because you don't have any weapons set up.
Well, that explains it. Yeah, underneath his name, it should say something, and it doesn't. So that's probably why it's not showing any damage because there's no macro for the damage. There's no 1d4,
Yeah.
1d6, or 1d8 or anything.
Hello?
Oh,
Alright, so what happened?
okay. So I've added that for you, and so now
I did what?
if you go into your character sheet and roll, you'll get a proper roll. Okay.
Wait,
And
I didn't have the longsword.
what weapon were you using?
It was like it was an axe, but I don't know what.
Battle axe.
Okay.
Yeah, battle axe.
Okay. Haydak's using the longsword. So There you go. Oh, and Sir Galathon missed as well. Three guys that are left, they all miss.
I'm gonna wake up that damn the guy in
Okay.
charge. Boot him in the ass, whatever I need to do.
Okay, so the other guys have pretty much got their stuff together and will probably be joining in on the next round.
And by the way, does this thing have tentacles?
No, it doesn't. It could.
Okay, cool. But yeah, I'm gonna nudge this guy with my foot. Wake up! Shit.
And one of the other bandits gets a mighty claw that pretty much disables his left arm, non-sword arm. You know, it was one of those things he kind of went to block that blow with that arm, and that's going to be a few weeks before that arm's usable again, type of thing. And it's initiative.
Did the leader start to wake up or anything, or is he just?
Yeah, he's waking up.
Uh-huh.
Oh, you know, and he's getting all, oh yeah, and he's jumping up, grabbing his stuff, starting to yell instructions. Don't make any sense, and if you would be paying any attention to him. So this time, the beast doesn't land a claw, but gets this guy his that left forearm, his mouth, and is like, you know, pulling him down to the ground. He's not looking very good. And and Sir
Took it
Galathon
away.
and Lars, you guys can all make your rolls.
Is there any way I can get my sleep spell on just this thing, or they got it surrounded? It sounds like.
Yeah, they pretty much got it surrounded. What's the area of effect on that?
Let's see. I'm just gonna roll the macro because it has a description in it.
Okay. Yeah, no.
I didn't think so.
They're yeah.
Well, I'm
You
gonna
get
just.
most of them no matter where you put it in.
I'm just gonna stand in the back until more of them fall.
Okay. And it's, you know, that's what you have to do sometimes as a magic user. And oh yeah, Sir Galathon and Lars, you guys want to take your attacks?
Sure.
Yes.
Let's miss. And that's a miss. And the other two guys miss as well. And the other two guys, yeah, they rush over and join in as well. And they swing and both of them miss. And it is initiative once again. You guys got an opening. Okay, so initiative's your guys. So The three of you can take your attacks. Okay, Haddock, this time you do hit that creature. And Lars and Sir Galathon,
What?
your turn. Time for you to attack.
All right.
All right.
That's what you want to do. I mean,
Yes.
your action, your turn.
14.
That's miss. And Lars, you hit.
Well, all right.
I hit it. I hit it.
I hit an AC of 5 with a 14.
Yeah, and that's not what it is.
Wow, but an AC 5. Okay. Yeah. It is what it is.
And
Hold on. I'll be back.
okay.
Too bad, man. That would have been good damage too.
Yeah.
Okay, so the beast for its turn, it's able to finish off the guy that it has down in its initiative.
Back.
Okay. Okay, so it pounces at this one more of the bandits, and it gets him with both claws and the bite, and then just sort of tosses him over to the side and turns snarling at the next one. And and so Lars, Hadak, and Sir Galathon, you may take your attacks. That's a miss.
Okay.
That's a hit. A
Oh.
miss. Unfortunately. So when Lars hits it, that thing is fairly bloodied, and when that hit comes in, that last snarling bit goes away, and that thing crumples to the ground.
All right, way to go, Lars.
I killed it. Or just like.
I mean, yeah, it's on the ground. Might want to finish it off if it's not dead.
Oh, it's dead, but you
Oh, let's
can
go.
finish it off.
I killed it.
Yay.
So, the four of you get each of you get 100 experience points for that.
Yay.
The three
Oh,
guys are totally brutalized, and they don't even try to bandage them or anything.
So it was just a great cat, or wasn't even a great cat.
Yeah, it was a great cat. It was a tough cat to kill. This was a big one.
I was presumptuous. I thought my 15 should have hit it, but I was wrong. That scared me though. It's like, wait a minute. So it killed 3 people. Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
man.
And so then the next thing they do is they collect the purses, count out the coins, and everybody's getting 4 pieces, no, 8 pieces of silver.
8 pieces of silver.
They also are like, they start pulling the weapons off of these guys. So there's three long swords, uh, probably 6 throwing hatchets, hand axes, what are you going to call them, and a dozen daggers. If anyone wants any of them,
Yeah, I take a dagger or two.
take what you want. Nobody else is really grabbing any because these guys are already loaded with that kind of stuff. Maybe one of them will take one.
Yeah. Wow. A victory.
So at this point, we're like, well, let's have a little breakfast and get out of here because this is going to start attracting stuff.
Are any of my 3 darts retrievable?
They're always retrievable, but you may have damaged them. I said you just roll a d20 for
Uh-huh.
each one of them, and then either get a 1 was damaged,
Okay, cool.
or you couldn't find it, one or the other. There you go.
Yep. There you go.
So you guys kind of have a cold breakfast. I mean, there's some coals there, so you could warm something up if you wanted a little. But you know,
Now, is
We-
John one of the guys that died? The guy that was.
No, John did not die.
Oh, okay. I don't say anything, but I'm just keeping an ear out to see what he has to say about this.
Okay. I mean, these guys are like, they're pretty bummed out and kind of shocked by this. You know, none of them had ever fought anything like that before.
Hmm.
Yeah. Big guy is like, it's some kind of evil hellcat, sort of halfway here and halfway somewhere else. We're lucky we had numbers, or we wouldn't have survived. There wasn't another one. And guys, get yourselves together and go down. And if one of their horses looked better than the one you were riding, no one cares. They're just getting on. I mean, they're getting back on the horse they rode, unless probably one of those guys is going to wind up trading with one of the horses.
Oh
Now
yeah.
you guys are going to be heading out with three horses that have like swords strapped to the saddles.
Yeah, there's a
And-
better horse than what I got. I'll do the same.
Yeah, you probably is. I mean, none of them are great, but yeah. So, guys kind of slowly get on the road, even though it's dark. These guys have obviously they've covered this ground before and they know where they're going. And get out there ways, and they come to a place where there's a trail coming through here, and they get to a place on that trail where there is a cliff on one side. Not a huge cliff, but enough of an obscurement that you can't go off the road that side of it. And there's a thick bit of bushes on the other side of it. They're like, okay, it's time to go to work. And he picks the four of you and tells you, watch here. If anything comes from that direction, we're going to go set up over there. If anything comes from that direction, stop it, take it, whatever loot they have.
Alrighty.
And once you guys have been assigned, he head off down the road the direction they said they were going. So they'll be guarding one direction. You guys will be they'll be working one direction. You guys will be working the other. The thicket is pretty good cover. It's got some thorns in it, so it's a little difficult to navigate quickly. How are you guys going to set this up?
Well, first of all, I'm gonna take Galathon aside and whisper to him, "Are we really going through with this?"
Althon?
I don't think they're gonna leave anybody alive that they are.
Go back to my. He did not tell you you had to kill him. He just said stop him, get the loot.
Hmm.
Well, if that's the case, I need to have a sleep spell on first and see what happens. So you guys may want to stay
Okay.
your blood. Um, I don't know that I have the stomach to kill somebody that hasn't done
Okay.
anything to.
No, that's fine. And I'm not telling you that he didn't expect you to kill him. I'm telling you what he said, so you can, you know, make your mind up. And you know, typically words have meaning.
Okay, so that's it. Then if someone does come this way, let me sleep them, and we can take their stuff. I don't have a problem with taking stuff from people. I just have a problem with cold-blooded murder.
Okay.
Although I'm not crazy about robbing folks either, by the way. But if it,
No. But
there's a purpose.
there's a purpose. As I said, I'm not going to be dumping on you alignment for the guys that have just joined. I think alignment is great to help you kind of peg out where your character is. I also think people tend to be hanging around neutral and wind up doing all kinds of different things during the course of their life. And they'll have a predominant way they may go. No one always goes one direction. Situations just don't work out that way. So don't expect any punishment or alignment for doing this stuff. The morning is a little warm. You know, it's starting to warm up here, and you're feeling it, kind of sitting here in semi shade, but probably not a lot of breeze because the bushes absorb most of that. How are you guys putting yourself out there? You got bushes that are about probably about 30 feet along the side of the road and about 15 feet wide in the center and kind of narrow to about 5 feet towards the ends.
And there's no trees in that area, at least in that immediate vicinity.
I mean, there are trees, but there's nothing real close. You can probably get a tree back away from the trail about 60 or so feet.
That might be a little far. I have to respond to something. I tried, find my place where I could keep an eye on things, but not be too well seen.
Okay, if you get in the bushes, you can see well enough, particularly like where you're looking down the road, that you can kind of move to get that hole that works for you, where you're seeing better than you're seeing as well as possible, and no one can still see you because they'd have to really be just perfect positioning to look right to the same bushes you are.
And these
If
are the
someone,
bushes.
and what direction are they coming from towards us?
Um, they're going to be coming from way you're looking at the road. They're going to be coming from your left-hand side.
So I'm just trying to figure the sun out. So is that east, west?
Oh, that direction. Um, Actually, this road is running, yeah, they're going to be coming from the east.
Okay.
It's, you know, not perfectly east, but it's more east than it is any other direction.
So the sun
Maybe a
should
little
be in
northeast,
their
but
eyes anyway. If that's
yeah.
if I'm right about that. Okay, cool. So we should have better sight unless they're just.
Yeah. Yep, you will have.
I guess that's probably why they chose this little thing.
I mean, you can tell that this is not the first time people have you know, you can kind of figure that there's been some places kind of cut out in these bushes
All
so
right,
that
cool.
you can avoid some of the sit in there and avoid some of the thorns.
All
And
right. Hide and wait.
okay, so you guys have been hiding in there for a while, probably close to 3 hours. And down the road comes a wagon. A couple of people driving it. Look human in size and stature, clothing. Probably farmers or merchants from the way they're dressed, from the look of the wagon and the horse that's pulling it. You know, it's pretty simple box wagon with a single horse pulling it. It's not a heavy draft animal, so you know it's not heavily laden, but you can tell there's stuff in the back of it.
So one horse and two humans.
Yep.
Okay. When it's within range, and I can get all three, I'm gonna cast the sleep spell.
Okay. And where are you positioned in the 30 feet bushes?
All right. Let's see my range here. Um. So 14 inches.
Yeah.
Um.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to have, you'll be able to throw it anywhere in there. I just want to know more where you're going to be.
Well, I want to, if I can, I don't want to just run out of there, run out of the bushes and cast it. I want to stay at the edge.
Oh, you can definitely stay in the bushes and cast it.
Uh, as far as, I guess, about midway between the center and the edge that they're coming from, the direction they're coming from.
Okay. Okay. So that's fine. So they start coming into the bushes and they draw up fairly, you know, within range of you. At that point, from then on, you can cast it until they're out of range.
Okay, when I know for sure they're in the range, we're gonna cast it. I'm not gonna wait
Okay.
till the last minute or anything.
Go ahead and cast your spell.
Okay, there it is.
Okay. So, boom, the spell goes off, and no, they weren't like rapidly moving along. It's pretty much plodding along anyway. It's kind of like one of those waiting for the steamroller to roll over you. And the two guys on the seat just sort of jostle along, and you can just see them go to sleep and kind of knock together. And the horse just sort of stops walking and drops its head down, eyes closed, breathing slowly.
All right, I nod to the guys. I said, "Well, let's get to it."
making our way out.
Okay. You guys get out, and here they are. What are you gonna do?
Man.
How long does this
Uh,
last?
This is first day, so they don't just wake up after the spell. They stay asleep.
Yeah, they're asleep.
Yeah, they just stay asleep until they're waking up.
Oh, so there's no.
I mean, they could wake up at any time after it's over, but yeah, they're asleep.
Yep. Typically, unless someone like does a loud noise or something, they just stay
Yeah.
asleep. It's not like second hand, but it would just
You
automatically.
know,
Hell.
sometime in like an hour or two, they would probably wake up just because they probably weren't really needing to sleep unless they
Mhm.
were that tired. But yeah, they're asleep.
So yeah, strip them of their valuables. What kind of weapons do they have on them?
We've got a couple of stout clubs, and each of them have a couple of daggers, and there's a crossbow with them.
Okay, definitely those bows gotta go.
Okay.
I'm. What do you guys think? I don't want to leave with nothing out in the woods.
The wagon itself is empty.
I thought the wagon was supposed to have some supplies or something in it.
Well, they're farmers. So I think you said farmers or merchants.
Yeah.
What they got in their purses?
Aha.
Either they drop their stuff off to sell, or they're going to
That
pick
means
up.
that means they're loaded if they are already sold their goods. So
So yes, the one that was driving, his purse is pretty interesting because his purse has 67 silver pennies in it. The other guy's has 3.
all right, so we know who's in charge.
Okay, so you guys have got the money. You're gonna tie them up. You're gonna just leave them sitting there asleep.
Um, we need to drag them off the road. I'm not thinking that they're going to get to keep the horse in the carriage either. Unfortunate for them. Be kind of weird. What do you guys think? Leave with their clubs?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't take all their ability to defend themselves.
So leave with the clubs.
Yeah,
Okay.
clubs.
Um, not the daggers, not the crossbows.
Oh, I'll take a crossbow.
Yeah. Well, I don't
So
want.
it's
I
a
don't want this stuff to
crossbow,
be
and
used-
it's got 20 quarrels with it.
Yeah, I don't want this stuff to be used against me if they get wind of who did this to them. Let's see. So leave them with their clubs and their clothes, and I guess. What do you guys think? Wake them up and tell them to be on their way, or I wouldn't want to do that and show my face.
No, if you
Yeah.
do that, then they will know who did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, is there anywhere else where we can just leave them, like in the bushes or something? Like, but
Good.
not our bushes. It's like,
Well, I mean, there's trees and stuff over there about another 50, 60 feet away from you. You got to get back into a grove of trees.
yeah, let's do that. Let's. I'm not gonna say drag them because that might wake them up, but let's kind of move them. Use the horse and the cart to take them over there.
Well, I'm saying, are we taking their wagon from them, or are we going to let them keep all that?
I mean, the horse is probably, besides the silver, the horse is probably the most valuable thing they have. I can't imagine letting them keep that. And without the horse, the wagon's useless to them too. What do you guys think? I mean, well, let me ask you this, Jim. how good of a horse is it? Is it a nag? Or is it?
Yeah, I mean it's not a bad horse, but it's definitely no great horse. Um, it's not heavy enough to plow with, but it doesn't look like it would make a great riding horse. It's probably just wagon stroke horse. Probably use it for wagons, carts,
It's worth about 10 silver.
pulling stumps.
The
Probably
horse is.
um something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, I can't see them keep the horse or the wagon.
Okay.
I mean, if you're gonna do it right, otherwise, we could just not take anything. Let's say it was good practice. I'm willing to listen to input. I'm just saying.
Okay. So you
Yeah.
guys are having this discussion.
Uh-huh.
You hear horses coming from the other direction, and you see they can see you, and they're coming at a bit of a gallop. Your compatriots.
Oh wow. Okay. This might be out of our hands now.
Oh, I mean, well, if they're coming at a gallop, there might be something chasing them.
Nah,
see anything
they're
behind-
not. They don't appear to be distressed. They're kind of making a little shearing noise. And so as they get closer and start to get up to you, you can see there's an approval, kind of a smile about them, and the leader's like, "Good job, good job. You passed your tests, so you're now members of the band."
Wait, what?
Oh,
You passed the test? That was a test?
Yeah, yeah. That is silver.
yeah, I hand it over.
Yeah, they had what, all 17 of it?
No, there was 67, 70 of it altogether.
I saw 17.
He throws it back to you. He says, "It's your boys. Split it up between you." And you're thinking about it, bring the horse and leave the wagon. We don't know use for that. Market for them, nothing we can do. Horses we can always use.
Got it. Good deal.
Oh, magic user, eh?
I nod.
That's handy. That's handy.
I say, yeah, I couldn't get my spell out before the cat was surrounded. That was unfortunate.
Ah. Okay. Get your horses. Let's mount up and get out of here. And you guys all get 100 experience points for that.
Wow.
Somebody's
Okay, cool.
excited.
So the two people, were they part of the band or were they really
No.
cousins?
Early
Okay.
pheasants. Had you rob somebody?
We'll have to leave them in the wagon. Unless those guys do something to them, I'm not gonna do any more to them.
They don't have any interest in doing to them. I mean, basically what they let you know is, have any desire, part of it, if you kill everybody that lives out here, there's nobody left to rob.
Oh, it's like catch and release. Okay, cool.
I mean, they don't have any compunction about killing if they have to or need to, or want to. But as far as just out and out killing just to kill, you know, you can rob people as many times as they can gather together silver for you to rob. You can only kill them once.
Okay.
So, guys, get back on the road, and you guys, we're gonna make one stop, and we got to go see some people. We're gonna let you guys will have a chance to take a break, and then we come back and join you. We're gonna head on into Dudenstein, or Dreadstein. That's the name of the town. And you get to stay at the Ogre tonight. So, you guys ride on for about an hour, and you come to a place where they know there's a grove of trees on a hilltop. There's a little stream at the bottom of it. It's been another good place to camp. He's like, you guys can sit here in the shade and rest. We're gonna have to go see some people, and we'll be back in about 2 hours, and we'll head on to Dreadston. But two people make these people nervous, and so I'm trying not to alarm them. And once you're known, then you'll be able to go there. We just have to go discuss some business.
Okay, understood. By the way, to the other three PCs, the share of the loot should have been 17 apiece, and I'll take the 16.
What?
The share of that loot would have been 17 for each of you, and I'll take 16.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
Thank you.
And so they're originally 7, so the 4 of them ride on. Leave the spare horses with you. And you guys can little break out of the saddle, have some lunch, whatever you want to do. It's nice and shady. There's a bit of a breeze. Kind of feels good to be able to get out of the saddle and sit on the soft ground and cool off a little. And after you've been sitting there or hanging out there for about an hour, you see a group of riders coming in where you guys came from, not where they went. As they get closer, you'll recognize that they are goblins. And they're riding on mules. and they're pretty good sized goblins, and they all have red caps on. And everybody can give me a D20 roll.
Anybody?
Everybody.
Oh, everybody.
Or anyone that wants to do so. If you don't want to know or don't want to roll, make the roll, you don't have to.
I get a
Okay. So, Aaron, you see these and something clicks and you're like, red caps, red caps. Ah. There is a goblin band, the Black Ridge, which, here, let me kind of, those of you that are new particularly and aren't aware of the physical area. Let's see, let's grab it over to this one. So here's Ludenscheim, where all of you started out from. And this yellow line indicates the path down here to where the little village you were visiting first was, which is Gipsheim. Let me just go ahead and put a little. There is Gipsheim. You guys are going Dresden, which is like approximately there. This is Blacktooth Ridge. Blacktooth Ridge was basically a fortified area. Remember the evil god I was telling you about? So this is an area where there were a lot of goblins and orcs and Ungren and other nasty creatures that were military units, and this is where they were stationed. Capital is right up here. This is where his capital was, and this is kind of a military outpost. Well, the war was over and he got sent away. It's not like all these ogres and orcs and Ungren and these creatures that form the bulk of his army with him. They're all here still. They're no longer commanded. Well, like in this area, there's actually, and you would be aware of this, there is still a bit of the old command structure still trying to stabilize this area and regain power in the area. One of these groups are these goblins called the Red Caps. Where these Red Caps, they work somewhere here out of the Blacktooth Ridge, and this is a bit far for them. They typically, you'll find them raiding here in this area. They've raided a lot in the area of Botkenberg. But you're talking about them like in this area, which is where you guys are. So, a little odd to see them, but you are seeing them.
How many?
There are 5 of them.
5?
5. And, you know, they look like they think they're supposed to be here. I mean, they're not they're not moving like a raiding party. They're not moving like, obviously there's not enough of them that they're like conquering horde or something, but they're riding along like no one would be surprised in this area to see them riding along. Now, you are relatively certain that they have not seen you. I'm going to assume that you guys took some care to kind of put string the horses where they weren't like visible to everyone. And you guys are not sitting out on the front edge of the hill waving across the valley at everybody and everything. If you are, and that's what you wanted to do, that's fine. Or I'll change it and we can say they saw you. But
how far away are they when we see them?
I mean, you saw riders, so you've been kind of watching since they were about a quarter of a mile away. Now they're probably about 1,000 feet away from you, and you're starting to be able to make out features. Now this is where you can kind of see that they're mules, goblins, red caps.
Do they have a reputation for being brutal?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, they're goblins and they raid.
All right.
They constantly raid this area or raid across the river and burn out farms and steal all the livestock, some of the women and children, and kill as many people as they need to.
Well, when they're in range, I'm going to cast sleep.
Okay. So you guys want to give me, all of you, because I think I would say that pull that off, you're gonna have to not be noticed for a while. Your chances of being seen before they get to you, if you don't try to conceal yourselves, is going to be fairly high. So everybody roll me a dexterity check. Roll me a d20 and
we want to roll under, right?
You want to roll high.
Well, you want to roll
high
high
as possible.
Oh.
Well, D20.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
So is
Rick
Haddock
is
standing up there pointing? Are those the
this
goblins?
hide thing you're talking about?
Yeah, he's standing up pointing in a direction like, what are you talking about? Those goblins? There's goblins over there? You humans with your keen vision.
Lars does a pretty effective job of getting undercover.
I got a 16 dexterity, so mine's pretty
Okay,
good.
so Aaron, you feel like you've accomplished it. You guys can tell that Hadak is being very challenged before they get into range. If you want to like send him, just go back down the other side of the hill, type of thing. If you want to, you may do so. Come when we call. Okay.
Cover our backs, Hayden. What is it? Yeah, cover our backs. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
well, I mean, he'll try to make himself concealed or roll down the hill a little bit if he has to.
Yeah. So, they do get within range. You can set your spell off. So give me your spell roll.
Oops, I gotta select my token. Can I drag my token to this map? Because I have to highlight them to do it.
Oh, okay. Is it the same thing every time?
I don't know if the number of creatures affected is the same. I think that does vary. I think it's like 2d4.
You know what?
I mean, we can use the last rolls. I'm good with the
Yeah,
last
I mean, I'm just looking. You get 4 there
roll.
for up to 1 hit die, and two
I mean, I
die
think
4 of up to 2 hit die. So between that, there's 5 of them. I think you've got them.
yeah, I
don't
was thinking
see.
the same thing.
I was gonna say I think they're good. So yeah, so these guys slump over in their saddles.
All right, let's get to it.
So the mules kind of come to a stop as they're no longer being maneuvered forward after a bit. And you guys get down there and you've got sleeping goblins on the back of these mules.
I'm gonna begin dispatching of the goblins. I don't have the same kind of.
No problem. So the goblins are killed.
Mhm. Search them, gather their weapons, gear, whatever. Keep the horses alive, of course. The mules.
And between the 5 of them, there are 35 silver pieces. And one of them has a piece of paper.
I read it.
It says, you can't call this off. Raids will continue, and you must continue to pay us, or we shall start raiding you as well.
Is it addressed to someone?
Signed with a V. No, it is not.
Okay. What do you guys think? Should we make it like this attack never happened, and hide these bodies and not? Well, we do that. We can't explain the mules either.
I would say we should send a message because it sounds like two rival factions is looking to a little tensions are high, so maybe we should just behead these goblins, tie them to the mules, turn the mules around, and slap their ass, and maybe the rest of the tribe will think that's their answer.
Well, the goblins are already dead.
Well, I mean, take off their heads and decapitate them, just put their heads on them. That would send a more message because you come with a note saying, "Hey, you got to basically pay us tribute, part of your earnings, or else." Well, we cut off the head, send them back, and they'll think, "Well, they chose or else."
Anybody else have an idea? Have an opinion on this?
Ideal.
And the message.
I mean, I don't know who that message is to. Who this letter is to? You think it's to these guys we're working with?
I don't know if it really matters who's it to. I mean, it will create tension, increase tension between the two factions, and that's less competition.
I don't know.
I mean, we're operating on incomplete knowledge. Is my problem. GM, how many of those goblins do we think there are that are still?
Red caps?
Yes.
I mean, as far as you know, there's hundreds, if not thousands or more. I mean, they're pretty thick in that Blacktooth Ridge.
The problem with
As you can
agitating
see, it's-
hundreds or thousands of goblins against anybody is that I'm here right now, and I don't like being in the middle of that.
Yeah, that's a fair point, but you know, maybe we won't be in the middle of it.
Well, just to kind of reinforce something I said earlier that may help you kind of draw some conclusions. Most of their raids have happened in Bottenberg, in that Baron's area. He's been pretty well tied down with this, and in fact, he has a call out for adventurers to come and help fight these red caps. And in fact, the guy that tried to arrest everyone, he had actually worked for that Baron fighting these guys.
And that's not the same one that's trying to bring his rival to bear, is it?
No.
Okay.
That's Ludensheim. Ludensheim doesn't seem to have a big goblin issue.
Oh, you know what? So that's probably who this message is to. I'm thinking, yeah. There's a reason why he doesn't have to deal with him. He's paying them off. Oh, okay. Because otherwise it doesn't make any sense why they would spare him.
Oops. Oh. Right. Oh.
Okay, one other question. How much are these
Sure.
mules worth?
Mules?
Silvers? The 8 silvers? 5?
Something like that.
I look at what's your character's name?
Haddock.
Haddock, excuse me.
Okay. I won't fight you on it if that's what you want to do. And I'm gonna kill any goblins I can at any time, regardless of what message you think
It's good.
that's for goblins.
Oh, I have no problem putting goblins down.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want to send these mules back, I think it's. I don't think that's gonna really incite anything, but I won't fight you on it.
I mean, it would be nice to know who they're talking about too.
But I'll keep the note. And I'll tuck that away.
You know, we just leave the corpses out here and
I mean, this is the wilderness. I mean, you can bury them if you want, or you can leave them out and
Oh, I'm not
let
burying
the
no
critters
damn
have at
goblin.
them. You know, I mean,
No,
yeah,
I might bury a human. I'm not burying no damn goblins. But my thing is, if you slap these mules on the butt and try to send them back to wherever these messages came from, I don't think they're gonna make it there.
yeah, may not. There's a good chance they won't, but you know,
maybe one of them will.
or we just take them with us.
But
The mules, that is.
the cool thing about it is we won't have to explain this if you just send those mules back. So I'm fine with that.
Okay, so you know, I'm on there, throw them in the saddlebag or something. The head I'm referring to, and then chase those mules back the way they came from, and they, you know, respond to that and take off back the direction they were coming from, and you lose sight of them after a while.
I bet those mules were freaked out. They're like, "Hey, what happened? I fell asleep.
Wake up, my load's lighter. People are yelling at me to go back to the stable. Yeah. So you guys, after all this, you know, you gonna are you gonna kind of drag these guys off the bushes or something? You're gonna leave them out here, and
Oh yeah,
I'm asking if you're gonna do something so that when these
100%.
guys
Yeah,
come back, they know what you've been up to,
yeah. I
or
don't want to have to explain what happened, so definitely want to. I'm not
okay.
gonna bury him, but I
So
will hide their body.
yeah, so you can still everything, and they come back and they don't pick up that anything has happened. Um, that one, you guys get 250 experience points each.
All right, and the gold distribution, I'll take 8. You guys can take 9. The silver. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The silver.
Yeah. And so they do come back, and they're not no, they're not like damaged or anything like that. There's no signs that they got in a fight, but you can just tell that things may not have gone the way they were expecting them to. They don't really fill you in on it. They just say, "Come on, let's get moving," and you guys head off, and you go on for a couple hours, and you come into the small town of Drudston, and it's also sitting on a river. Um, I mean, the road. This is the little track that you guys were working on, and by the time, I mean, at the village, it's fairly rutted, and you can tell in rain it would be a bit of a quagmire. Um, it's sort of comes to the top of a hill that's been pretty much denuded of vegetation, and on the far side of that hill, on the hillside itself, is the little village, and it's just a few houses. There's one large building. It appears to be the inn that they're talking about. Um, it's a log construction. It's low. It's been constructed in phases. It has a very poor um stable cut that's with it. That is now is like made from mismatched uh, junk lumber, salvaged lumber. Um, has a bit of a corral, sort of a bad post fence around it. Uh, Riding horses, it's sufficient. Um, you guys ride up and into the corral. Stable hand comes out and he recognizes the four you're with. Welcome back. Some new recruits, eh? Big guy's like, yeah, we have. And so guys, they lead you into the inn. It's about a 50 by 100 foot room. It's pretty large. There's a lot of tables, chairs, all mismatched. Some of them are like stumps of just, you know, logs that have been flattened enough to sit even on the floor and sit on the top end of. Um,
I like this place. It's a hole in the wall.
yeah, it is definitely a hole in the wall. Uh, there is one large red velvet stuffed chair. No one is sitting in.
It's Holly. Do, do,
And
do, 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 do.
that's kind of where you're at here. And we're going to order up some food and get a table, which seems to be a regular table. And everyone kind of settles in for a bit of venison and strong ale.
Hello. I gotta go.
Okay. This is about where I was gonna wrap it anyway, because this is just a good stopping point, and we will pick it up here, and you'll find out where you're going next week.
Man,
So
I
I
really,
hope you
really
guys.
appreciate the game.
Oh, no problem. I appreciate it too. This is it's a little twist when you guys decided to join. I hadn't really prepped for that, so it's like, oh, now how do we do this?
All right. Oh, I gotta go. Bye, guys.
All right,
Yes.
take care,
Okay.
man.
Bye.
That was Galathon. Is he still here? Galathon, are you awake?
Yeah,
That was Galathon's idea.
I'm here.
Yeah. No, it was Galathon's idea, but
That's
yeah.
why I keep deferring to him, like, hey, what do we do now?
Yeah. So, but that was an interesting. That was something I hadn't really thought of, and that's one thing I love about the game is because the players come up with stuff I haven't thought of, and then it's like, oh, yeah,
Those pesky players.
yeah. No, but I mean it's great because now I get this whole thing to get to run a group of bandits and let you guys figure out what you're going to do with them and about them. It puts you in a lot of different places. Um, you wouldn't have been if you had been I mean it would have been a different game entirely if you guys had decided to track or follow or spy on them. Joining them, that's pretty good.
Yeah, we've got run over because it's only three of us.
Well, I mean if you'd done it judiciously, helpful if you had a ranger or a thief, but without one, if you didn't do anything stupid, you could still pull it off. But yeah, no, this is an interesting twist, and
Well, it sounds like there's like 35 to 50 of them. And I'm like, you can ambush maybe 3 or 4 times before they start getting suspicious. You send
oh
these
yeah,
guys out, they come back dead. Let's send out somebody to follow the people we send
it's a
out.
big enough area that they don't even know it would be you or one single group. It could have just been multiples. I mean, think about it. You guys lost 3 guys.
Quickly,
That was an
very,
animal.
very quickly to an animal. And I swear I was like, when I thought I had hit it and it missed, I was like, oh, that better not be that. We're all dead.
And I'll tell you, it was. I just didn't put the tentacles on it.
Damn you. I was like,
No, that's why
Lord,
you
have
guys
mercy.
needed such high number to hit it. Because, yeah, the bandits really did some. I had three crits from the bandits on it, which really helped.
Yeah, because I was thinking, well, I'm going to find some new people to roam with when everybody dies.
Hmm.
'Cause I'm
But
getting
that
the hell
one
out.
poor guy, the guy described so much. He got he got all three attacks hitting. One of them was a crit.
Yeah, it eviscerated him. I think you said something like that.
That was the evisceration. Yeah, it's like what and I rolled. It's 2 die 8, and I rolled an 8. So that's 16 points. So basically, yeah, the cat just went across his lower stomach and everything fell out. There was nothing left to hold anything in. So, um,
Yeah, man. I was thinking to myself, I'm going to cast my fleet spell. If he shakes it off, I'm running.
uh, well, hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I did, and have some more fun
Appreciate
with
it.
living the life of a bandit next week.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Rich, I was sure you were going to play a fighter, man. When I
But
saw your rolls, I was like, damn.
I have never rolled like because whenever I was talking to him when I rolled up the character, I'm like, well, I said usually I just roll shit. I've never rolled anything decent, and those came up. I'm like, what the hell? I've never seen stats like that for me.
Well, that's all, folks. Jesus.